Alright, so what's this doing? Well, it's increasing my HUD element 5. HUD element 5 is my continues. It's located right here. I think that red block is showing up. Anyway, when I test it in the game, and I press select, it increases the number. It checks if it's 9. If it's 9, it stops. So when it's 9, it'll stop. So that's the base version of this. That's like kind of the bare bones script version. So it's just an input that increases your continues. You could assign it to your main game or assign it to whatever you want. I don't recommend assigning it to your game over screen. Any any screen but your game over screen. You could even do a thing like what I'm gonna do. So that's just the basic version, and I'm going to delete that from my game. And I'm going to take this script out. But I will include this script with the video if you want to do this version of the script. So that's how you increase your continues with a button push, or it increases any variable you have set to a HUD element. Now what we want to do is, if you don't have it set to a HUD element, the thing we're going to do is we're going to take that out and just have it store it in my continues. So you don't see it on the screen, but if I had this script running in the game, then it would store it in your continues. It just wouldn't express it in the game with a HUD element or anything else unless you had this. You don't need to have the store into the accumulator line if you have the HUD element line. It kind of makes it redundant, but you could have both. It doesn't really mess around with it. But anyway, so my script is going to be similar to this. That is also the reason why I'm showing this. So what I'm going to do is I need to edit my game object tile sheet, and I need to add numbers and the letters for the following. So what I want to do is, instead of using a HUD element, I want to show a specific tile or sprite like on screen, and I'm going to add the words credits at the bottom at the bottom of the screen. We're going to we're going to enter this input script back in when we test it for this, but ultimately we're not going to use an input script. I'll show you what we do eventually at the very end, but for now, just understand that we're using the input script for testing. So you load up you load up your game objects. Here are my game objects for my project. And notice I have the word pause there. Eventually I want to add a pause to my game. But we can do that in some other video, maybe. Because pause isn't really needed in some games. Like if I'm doing an arcade game, you can't really pause an arcade game if it's an arcade game. Like in the arcade, you can't pause it. That button would usually be used to start the game. That would be your start game button usually in the arcade. And your select button on your controller would be your insert coin. If you were emulating arcade games and arcade buttons or something like that on, for example, a modded system of some sort, like I forget what they're called. They got like RetroPies, and they have those mini PCs. You can have something modded like that. that could be used to play arcade games or something, and some people mod the coin doors on them, and you can use that as a button and make that your select button, or you could use your Nintendo emulator on there to do that. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new tab in the pixel editor. In that tab, I'm going to load up just some letters. In my final game, I plan on changing the font on all this stuff. It's just for now, this is going to be placeholders. So let's get the word credits or credit. Now I use this as my cursor icon on the main title screen. So I don't want to use this for my numbers unless I'm willing to change the code on my cursor icon. So I could use numbers probably up here. Or you just have your 0 somewhere else. So what I'm going to do is put those numbers in here. I'm just going to put my 0 here. So when I put in the code for the 0, it's probably going to be a weird code number. Everything else will be a different code number that'll be sequential when I put them in. So here's the 0. Just copy mine over here. There's the rest of the sequential numbers. So you want to make sure that if you're following the same numbers as me, you're using the same script as me, which I will include, that your numbers are like this. If not, you might have to change these numbers around. Your 9 might be here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0 would be here. If you don't have something here and you're using a different code for your title screen for your cursor, and you want to use this for your 9, and you know what I mean. So I'm gonna use credit instead of credits because it's one less tile. Okay, I got it to show up in each screen, but it's too high for my game on the screen. I'm gonna have to edit a bunch of my levels and stuff. I'll probably just take out this bottom tile and put this as the bottom on, or what is it? I think it's on NTSV settings or whatever it is, TV, the North American TV. NTSC. On NTSC it'll show full, but on, I don't remember the name of the other ones. On the TVs in Europe, or some certain TVs, I believe it cuts off the bottom 8 pixels of your screen. PAL I think it's called. PAL, Pacific Asia, Latin America, something like that. I don't know. So yeah, so it's cuts off the bottom. So I'm trying to basically move where the credit says right now. I'm gonna move it down 16 more. This is gonna be kind of where the top of the spikes are, but everything is gonna be moved up one, or not the top of the spikes. That's 8. It's gonna be over the top half of the spike tile. So it'll be over actually a black part of the screen. I'll show you when I fix it. So something like that for my game, I just gotta move it over a teeny bit more, and then I'll try to make it draw the numbers when you hit the button. I think that I have trouble making it draw the numbers properly. I might have to leave that part out for now, and we might have to use like the HUD or something for now. I have no clue. I'm not good at making it draw the numbers properly on other things. Hold on, I might be able to get it to work this time. Alright, so I edited my screen. All my screens are gonna have to be something like this. So when I test it, hopefully looks something like that. You know, with any luck, we can get the number to draw somewhere nearby. So I'm having trouble drawing the sprite on the screen. It should be drawing the sprite on the screen from this. I can prove it by doing this, and it'll draw a number on the screen. Um, but I don't understand why it's not drawing the sprite when it should draw the sprite if it's drawing an object. So here's testing drawing the sprite. You see it's changing the HUD number for testing reasons, but it's not changing anything down here. But after 9 it stops because I have it not do anything if it's got 9. But if I uncomment this, and comment this out, it's going to draw a 0. But it's an object. And when I try to destroy the object, if I type in destroy object above it, it destroys the player. If I try to set it as a variable or something, it still destroys the player. So there it's creating it, but now it's slowing down the game. It's not destroying it, it's slowing down the game. If I was to get another one or something, like if when you maybe get like 2 or 3, it's supposed to a different one or something, it'll just keep making more of them over the same spot, and it just slows down the game to a crawl because they're not being destroyed. Now you notice the game's back to being normal, but as soon as I push select and add more, it would slow it down, but I have 9, so it can't. So I'm having that problem. Because watch, if I go I mean, it's fine if it makes an object. I would rather it made a sprite. But if it, say it makes an object, then I could destroy the object by pressing, the previous object, and then it makes another one. But what it does when you do this is it destroys the player. So I might have to have something check a certain, like a bit, like have it, have this maybe be, um, target type or something. I don't know. And then have a check for that. If it's that, then it destroys that, all those that are on the screen. And that be the only type of that that's on the screen or something. Can have it do that. Try to have it do that. I've done that before with other things, but for now, I would really prefer if I could just have it draw the sprite on the screen. So I'm gonna comment out these, make this fine. So I'm going to save the script. My pre-draw is doing the credit, so that's right in the right spot. I'm going to make a post about this and see if anybody can help me solve this problem. If not, I could do something else to solve the problem. I could find other ways. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it taught you something, or at least helped you get an idea of what to do for your game to add credits with a button or a different variable or something in your HUD that you can do it some other time. Maybe for a different game. You can create an object or draw sprites, update your HUD or something. And just hopefully we can figure this out. I can have it drawing the sprites of the numbers on the screen and replacing them as you get a different number, and I won't have to use a HUD element. Thank you and have a great day.